Adair Parkwood Elementary and amazing fifth graders. This is your local humble favorite artist, Cbabi Bayoc, and I'm excited. I'm going to be bringing you guys a mural so that you have something new and fresh when you come back to school after this quarantine session.
Over the past few years, painter Cbabi Bayoc has been leaving his distinctive mark on St. Louis schools. His energetic, engaging murals encourage smiles and a sense of recognition. Cbabi insists on painting during the school day, so that the students can see his process and so that he can be inspired by them.
Most of my projects and work that I do in schools is usually around the idea of equity, to try to paint enough variety in the children that almost everybody can either see themselves or a classmate and see them a value in the subject on the wall. And they'll talk about that while we're there. So I try to carry that into my own work also. It's not always evident, but the way I work in the lines and overlapping is also kind of tied to how everything kind of plays well with each other. And no matter how dramatic a color or design is separate from each other, they all gotta work together to create a cool design. That's kind of how we are as people. Like, make a cool design by our differences.
But a much deeper life lesson happens without the kids even realizing it.
I do a lot of work in the county, and I don't always feel like I get treated, in a delightful way in the county just by looks or whatever. So what always brings a smile to me is that the kids will fall in love with me and hang out. They'll be like, "Hey, mommy, that's Cbabi." And then the parent will like maybe glance over, but just dead for the door. Whereas sometimes you get schools and the parents are like, "Oh my God, he talks about you all the time." But so it's funny, it's interesting to watch just how humans act, man. So I get encouragement that the kids just connect with me without all the labels. They just see somebody who's doing a cool piece in their school. And so hopefully they can just start from that, maybe they can carry it on the rest of their life. Like, connect to a person before a label.
One label that does apply to Cbabi is that of internationally renowned artist and illustrator. His work has appeared on album covers and in children's books bought all over the world, but he still calls St. Louis home.
Like, my roots started here and my career's grown here, and I get fed here, not always financially, but just even in encouragement, and it's enough reason to stay.
Cbabi, is just first and foremost a dope artist. Something about Cbabi's work that really stood out to me immediately was that he celebrates fatherhood so much, and from a loving and involved standpoint, not this aloof authoritarian type of a father, but an active and involved father. There's a feminizing of that role as a father, as a caregiver, and I really love the thread through Cbabi's work that normalizing this role of dad as a person who gives love and care and not just discipline and maybe money or whatever.
Founder of the Cherokee Street Gallery, artist Benjamin Lauder had been looking forward to exhibiting Cbabi's work in April 2020. But when daily life went sideways, it not only affected how people would see the show, but also the pieces Cbabi would be creating for it.
We set the date pre-pandemic. It felt really serendipitous because I think Cbabi's work speaks a lot to the humanity and intimacy and love and connection and even physical connection that's missing right now.
Our inability to touch one another anymore, like the way we've been accustomed to. All the hands and the connection of the hands that came about because of this.
We were really enjoying bringing people together in a space physically to enjoy artwork and celebrate the creative community in St. Louis. But then obviously when the pandemic hit, that component was going to be gone. We went ahead and made a 360-degree VR tour of the inside of the gallery, so you can literally come off of Google Street View through the door and navigate through the space and click on each piece of artwork and then purchase it or see a larger image of it that gives more details about the piece.
As artists, we just got to keep on being innovative and figuring out ways to make it work. That's what we do. So hopefully we inspire others to think outside the box and not just shut down, but just take a second, think about it, and figure out how they can maneuver through this new landscape.
It really has enhanced our presence and given us and St. Louis and Cherokee Street a global reach. Starting with Cbabi's show, we had people all over the world tuning in to the live stream, people buying art on the coast. So it's definitely something that's going to stay in the mix going forward.
As lockdown restrictions began to ease in June, the gallery decided to hold a closing reception for Cbabi's show. Although it had been on the walls for over 2 months, this was the first chance for people to see it with their own eyes. As a steady stream of patrons waited for their turn to tour, buy, and chat with Cbabi, the red and black brass band showed up to celebrate the artist. The scene on that little stretch of Cherokee Street brought to mind Cbabi's school murals, where differences made everything more beautiful. In the midst of a pandemic and heightened social unrest, it felt like an oasis of harmony, and a glimpse of what the future could look like. For Living St. Louis, I'm Kara Vanninger.